Hey everyone, ready to dive into some fascinating stuff about Agile and AI? I think we're all getting bombarded with AI info these days.
It seems like it, yeah.
But today we're tackling this idea that Agile is kind of stuck in the past and can't handle AI. Like it's some rigid old system.
Yeah, definitely heard that a lot.
Right. So we're going deep on some videos that show how Agile is actually the perfect tool for this whole AI revolution.
It's really about adaptability.
Totally. Get ready for a total mind shift because we're going to uncover how Agile values and principles can be your secret weapon in the age of AI. It's going to be fun.
A lot of organizations, they really get tripped up by this myth of, agile methodologies. Like they
Uh,
try to force AI into this like old school waterfall box.
it's like trying to teach a robot to waltz.
Exactly.
So the videos we're looking at, they encourage us to ditch that whole methodologies thing and think more about Agile practices or adaptive capabilities.
Yeah, much better. Because Agile is all about having this mindset, one that embraces flexibility and always getting better, not about sticking to a rigid set of rules.
Right on. So how does that actually work in the real world? Especially when we're talking about AI.
Well, one video breaks it down really nicely using those four core values from the Agile Manifesto. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, the manifesto, definitely.
Okay, cool. So let's start with individuals and interactions over processes and tools. That's a big one.
Okay, so that's all about remembering that AI is a tool, right? It's not a replacement for human brilliance.
Exactly. AI can do all this amazing stuff like, automating tasks and analyzing tons of data super fast,
Right.
but it can't replace human creativity, problem solving, or that ability to adapt to, unexpected stuff. Especially with AI, things are changing so fast. You need teams that can collaborate, communicate really well, and make decisions on the fly.
One of the videos had this awesome analogy. They compared traditional organizations to big, slow battleships.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
And they argue that in the AI age, we need to be more like a fleet of speedboats, you know? Able to change direction quickly.
Makes sense. It's like that agility is key.
Right. It shows why that emphasis on individuals and interactions that Agile has that's so important. You need empowered teams that can really use AI tools, not just follow orders.
Totally. It's not about replacing people with AI. It's about making them work together, to achieve some really cool stuff.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, and that focus on collaboration that naturally leads to the second Agile value, customer collaboration over contract negotiation.
Interesting. Why is that so important with AI specifically?
Well, think about it. AI is all about continuous learning and improvement. You're constantly getting new data, making those algorithms better, and adapting to what you learn.
Right.
Rigid contracts, they just can't keep up with that pace.
Yeah, it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, trying to force this super dynamic technology into a static contract.
Yeah, exactly. Agile is about building those strong relationships with your customers, working with them throughout the whole thing, and adapting to their needs as you go. It's more like a partnership where everyone's invested in the success of the project.
I like that. Okay, so we've got these super adaptable teams working closely with customers. What's next?
Well, that brings us to the third value, responding to change over following a plan.
Okay, yeah, that one seems super relevant to AI. I mean, AI is like a disruption machine, right? It's always changing the
You
rules.
got it. That old waterfall approach with all that meticulous planning and sticking to deadlines, it just doesn't work with AI. You got to
Hmm.
be able to pivot, embrace new info, and adjust your course as you go.
So less about a perfect roadmap and more about figuring things out as you go.
Exactly. Imagine you're whitewater rafting. Waterfall is like trying to plan every single stroke before you even get in the boat.
Yeah,
But Agile is about being present, responding to the currents and obstacles as they pop up and trusting your team to handle the rapids.
I love that analogy. And AI just make those rapids wilder.
It definitely does. But with Agile, you can use that uncertainty to your advantage, like fuel for innovation.
Okay, I'm on board with that. So we've talked about prioritizing people collaborating with customers and being open to change. What's the fourth value?
It's working products and services over comprehensive documentation.
So it's not about creating these massive detailed specs up front. It's about getting something out there that works and then making it better based on feedback.
You got it. And this fits perfectly with the way AI development works. You build something, you test it, get feedback, and then refine it. It's a constant cycle.
And I'm guessing AI tools can speed that whole process up even more.
Definitely, AI can automate tasks, analyze data, and even generate code so teams can move much faster and experiment more freely.
It's like building something that works and then using AI to make it even better, faster, stronger.
Exactly. It's a powerful combination.
I'm really starting to see how these agile values make so much sense in the AI world.
They do. And, it's not just the values. The 12 Agile principles, they give even more practical guidance on how to put this mindset into action.
Okay, I'm ready for those principles. Let's see how they translate into real-world results.
Let's do it. One of the most important principles, and this one's super relevant for AI, is customer satisfaction through continuous delivery.
So that's all about delivering value often, right? Keeping those feedback loops tight and making sure the customer's happy every step of the way.
Exactly. And with AI, where things are always evolving, this frequent delivery is even more important.
One video recommended delivering even more frequently if teams are struggling to meet deadlines.
Really?
Yeah, sounds crazy, but they said it forces you to streamline and focus on delivering real value, not just checking boxes.
That's interesting. So you're saying that by delivering more often, you actually become more efficient.
That's the idea. It's like instead of climbing a mountain in one giant leap, you take smaller steps and adjust as you go so you don't get stuck.
I like that. And that flexibility is key with AI, where you always need to be learning and adapting to new information.
Right on. So that was the first principle. What's the second one?
The second one builds on this idea of embracing change, welcoming changing requirements, even late in development.
That's totally different from that waterfall approach that tries to nail down all the requirements up front, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is even more important with AI because AI is a change accelerator. It's constantly disrupting things, creating new opportunities, and forcing us to adapt.
So we got to learn to ride the wave.
You got it. Agile encourages us to welcome those changes, to see them as chances to learn and improve, not something to resist.
So Agile is like surfing, and waterfall is like building a dam.
Haha, I love that analogy. It's perfect. With waterfall, it's like trying to paddle in a straight line, ignoring the currents. And obstacles, Agile is all about being aware of those changes, adjusting and maneuvering around the obstacles. And in the AI world, those currents are moving fast.
Okay, let's keep paddling and talk about the third principle. Frequent delivery of working software or services.
This one really reinforces that idea of delivering value little by little and continuously. Instead of waiting months or years for one massive release, we should be releasing working versions of our product or service often.
Got it. So break it down for me. Why are those big, infrequent deliveries a problem with AI?
Because with AI, it's all about learning and adapting. If you wait too long to release something, you miss out on valuable feedback and risk falling behind.
Okay.
Plus, those huge releases can be a headache for everyone.
Makes sense. It's much better to have a steady stream of updates.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder what happens when AI lets us release new features in like hours or minutes. Will Agile need to evolve to keep up with that? It's something to think about as we move deeper into this AI future.
Agile on hyperdrive. That's mind-blowing. Okay, let's talk about the fourth principle. Business people and delivery teams working together daily.
That one highlights how important it is for the people who get the business and the people building the solutions to be super close.
No more silos between departments.
Right. And with AI, this is even more crucial because AI projects need a deep understanding of both the tech and the business side. When those teams work closely together, they can share what they know, spot challenges early on, and make sure what they're building actually delivers real value.
You need the tech brains and the business smarts to make AI work.
Exactly. One video even suggested that in the future, those roles might start to blend together. Imagine a business analyst using AI tools to develop solutions and developers being more involved in the strategy.
Wow, that's a whole new world. Okay, so we've covered the 4 key Agile values and started exploring the 12 principles. It's clear that Agile is a powerful framework for this AI world. But what about the people? How does that all fit in?
That's a great question and one that often gets missed in the AI hype. One video really focused on the human element. It talked about how traditional approaches in places like finance and HR can actually clash with AI development.
It's not just about changing how developers work, it's about transforming the whole organization.
Exactly. A lot of organizations, they want AI, but they don't think about how it impacts those key support functions. This video argued that old school budgeting and performance management systems can actually slow down AI initiatives.
Because they're still stuck in that waterfall world?
Yeah, like with finance, they often rely on detailed project plans and fixed budgets, but AI work is constantly changing. You need to be able to adjust budgets and timelines as you learn.
Predicting the future of an AI project is like predicting the weather a year in advance. It's just not realistic.
Right. And with HR, they often focus on individual performance. But AI work is all about teamwork. Those individual metrics can actually discourage people from working together and sharing what they know.
It sends mixed messages for sure.
It does. This video emphasized the need for a cultural shift. Instead of rigid project-based funding, we need capability-based funding that supports continuous learning. And instead of focusing just on individual performance, we need to recognize and reward what teams achieve.
So create a culture where people feel safe to experiment and learn together.
Exactly. The video also talked about regulatory compliance and audit teams. They're often seen as the rule enforcers.
Yeah, the fun police.
But the video said that when they're involved early on, they can be super valuable.
So bring them in from the start.
Exactly. It's all about shifting left, integrating those teams from day one. That way, regulatory stuff and risk assessments are built into the process, not added on as an afterthought.
It's like having a safety inspector on site during construction.
Exactly. This approach not only prevents problems down the line, but it also creates a more collaborative relationship. It's not check and grade, it's more like a partnership.
Okay, so we've talked about how Agile applies to development and even departments like finance, HR, compliance, and audit. But let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the future of work in general?
It's clear from these videos that the old ways of working with those rigid structures and processes, they just don't work in this AI world.
Because they're not adaptable enough?
Exactly. The future of work is going to need a much more collaborative and adaptable approach where learning is key.
So organizations that cling to the old ways are in trouble.
I think it's very likely the organizations that will do well in this new world will be the ones that embrace agile principles, not just in their development teams, but across the board.
It's about creating a culture where people feel empowered to experiment, learn, and adapt together.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that AI is not here to replace us. It's a powerful tool that can help us do amazing things.
Humans and AI working together as a team.
Precisely, and that's the beauty of Agile. It gives us a framework for navigating this complex world, a framework that emphasizes collaboration, adaptability, and always striving to be better.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've explored how Agile can help us navigate this AI landscape, and we've even started to imagine what the future of work might look like.
We have. But one question that keeps coming up for me is this. We've seen how these agile principles were developed years ago for software development, but now they're super relevant for AI. But what happens is AI keeps evolving at this crazy pace. Will agile need to adapt too?
That's a great question, and actually one of the videos touches on that. As AI becomes more advanced, it's going to challenge us to rethink some of our fundamental ideas about Agile itself. So Agile is not set in stone. It's always evolving.
Exactly. For example, the principle of frequent delivery might take on a whole new meaning when AI lets us release updates every hour or even every minute.
Wow, Agile on hyperdrive. That's almost impossible to imagine.
It is, and it highlights that Agile is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuously learning, adapting, and refining our approach as the world changes.
So even as AI transforms everything, the core values of Agile collaboration, adaptability, and delivering value will still be essential.
Absolutely. And as we go deeper into this AI-powered future, the people who embrace that Agile mindset, the ones who are willing to experiment, learn, and adapt, they're the ones who will thrive. It's pretty amazing how these Agile principles, they were made for software development, but now they're like this guide for working with AI.
It's like Agile is ahead of its time. But honestly, even with all these principles and values, this whole shift to Agile, it feels kind of overwhelming. Where do you even start with such a big change?
I get that a lot, and the videos actually have some good tips on how to begin. One video talked about focusing on small changes, instead of trying to do everything at once.
So baby steps, try out some Agile practices in a few areas and then expand gradually as you get the hang of it.
Exactly. It's like learning guitar. You wouldn't expect to shred like a pro overnight, right? You got to start with those basic chords, practice a lot, and slowly build up your skills.
Great analogy. So instead of turning your whole organization upside down, you can start with one team or department and then use that success as a model for everyone else.
Exactly. That video also said that it's really important for leaders to be on board. For Agile to really work, it needs to be supported from the top down. Leaders need to understand Agile and create an environment where teams feel like they can try things out and learn.
So leaders need to walk the walk, not just talk the talk, right?
Definitely. They need to show those Agile behaviors and build a culture that supports agility and being innovative.
Makes sense. So one of the videos talked about what it actually means to be an Agile leader in this AI world. And it said those old school command and control leaders, they just don't fit in this new way of working.
Yeah, they're too focused on hierarchy and control.
Which kind of kills creativity and adaptability, which we need for AI.
Exactly. Agile leaders need to be okay with things being a bit ambiguous and changing all the time. They need to empower their teams to make decisions and, learn from their mistakes.
So it's less about being the boss and more about being a guide on this crazy adventure.
That's a great way to put it. Agile leaders are like those expert navigators. They chart a course through uncharted waters and let their teams explore and adapt along the way.
I like that. So we've talked about values, principles, incremental change, the importance of leadership, and even what it means to be an Agile leader in this AI world. Is there anything else we need to think about?
One thing that often gets missed is the importance of culture. Agile isn't just about using certain practices or tools. It's a whole way of thinking. To really make Agile work, you need to create a culture that supports it.
So it's not just about changing what you do, it's about changing how you think.
Exactly. You can do all the Agile things, but if your organization is still all about hierarchy control and being afraid to fail, Agile won't really work.
One of the videos talked about psychological safety on Agile teams.
Oh, yeah, that's so important.
It said that for teams to be truly innovative, they need to feel safe, taking risks, experimenting, and learning from mistakes without being punished.
Absolutely. Psychological safety is key for creativity and innovation. When people feel comfortable speaking up challenging ideas and sharing what they think without being judged, that's when you get those groundbreaking solutions.
It's about letting people be themselves, learn and grow together, and push the limits of what's possible.
Exactly. And that kind of environment is crucial for success with AI because AI is all about pushing boundaries, exploring, and constantly learning.
It's like AI is the engine and Agile is the fuel.
Love that analogy. Another key part of Agile culture is focusing on continuous learning and improvement. Agile teams are always getting feedback, reflecting on what they do, and finding ways to do it better.
So it's not about being perfect, it's about always trying to improve.
Exactly. And that learning mindset is especially important in the AI world because things change so fast and there are always new technologies popping up.
One video talked about creating a learning organization
Yeah.
where everyone's encouraged to experiment, share what they know, and learn from each other.
It's about breaking down those walls between departments and making sure knowledge can flow freely.
So instead of keeping information to themselves, people are helping each other grow.
Exactly, and that's crucial for organizations to stay ahead in the AI game.
I think in this AI age, the most valuable thing an organization has is its ability to learn and adapt as a team.
I love that. And Agile gives us the framework for doing just that, for unlocking that collective intelligence and using it to be innovative and grow.
So we've covered culture, leadership, continuous learning, and psychological safety. Anything else we should keep in mind as we start this Agile journey in the AI world?
One thing that comes up a lot, especially when organizations are switching from waterfall to Agile, is that you need patience. Agile isn't a quick fix. It's a big shift in how you think and how your organization works. It takes time, effort, and being willing to change and learn from mistakes.
It's not like flipping a switch and you're Agile.
Nope. It's a journey of transformation, one that needs commitment and a willingness to step into the unknown.
One video compared it to climbing a mountain. It's not about reaching the top in one leap. It's about taking it one step at a time, adjusting your course, and supporting each other along the way.
Perfect analogy. And just like climbing a mountain, the benefits of using Agile in the age of AI are worth it. Organizations that make this change will be more adaptable, innovative, and ready to succeed in this exciting and ever-changing world.
A challenging but rewarding journey. What advice would you give to organizations that are just starting out with Agile?
I'd say embrace the Agile values and principles, but don't be afraid to experiment and adapt them to your own situation. Start small, focus on making small changes, and celebrate the wins along the way.
And don't give up. Okay, we've covered so much in this deep dive, but before we wrap up, what do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities for Agile in the AI age?
That's a great question. One of the biggest challenges, I think, will be keeping up with AI itself. As AI gets more advanced, we'll need to keep adjusting our Agile practices to stay current.
So Agile needs to be flexible too.
Exactly, and that's where Agile really shines. It encourages experimentation, adaptation, and continuous learning. So even when AI throws us a curveball, Agile gives us the tools and the mindset to handle it and turn it into something positive.
It's like having a compass and a map when the landmarks are constantly moving.
Exactly. As for opportunities, I think AI can make Agile even better. For example, AI can automate boring tasks, analyze huge amounts of data, and even give us real-time feedback on how we're doing.
So AI can actually make us more agile.
Exactly. It frees us up to focus on the important stuff, like creativity and collaborating with each other. And I think we're just getting started. As AI keeps getting better, we'll find even more ways to use it to improve our Agile practices and create amazing things.
That's a really cool thought. Okay, so to sum it up, Agile is not just about following a set of rules. It's about being flexible, collaborative, and always learning. And in this AI world, that Agile mindset is more important than ever.
Definitely, Agile helps us navigate this crazy AI-powered world and empowers us to adapt, innovate, and thrive.
It's a journey, not a destination, and it's one worth taking. Okay, we've covered so much ground today. I feel energized and excited about what's ahead.
Me too, and I hope everyone listening will keep exploring these ideas and trying out Agile practices in their own work.
Don't be afraid to experiment, learn from your mistakes, and embrace Agile to unleash your team's full potential.
And remember to check out the videos we've talked about. They have tons of great insights and practical tips on how to make Agile work in the AI age.
We'll put links to all those videos in the description below, so go explore and let us know what you find. Wow, this whole deep dive, it feels like we've been given this map to the future of work.
It really does. And one thing that stood out to me from these videos is how important human skills still are in this whole AI age.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to get caught up in all this AI hype, but ultimately it's human creativity, collaboration, all that good stuff that's going to drive real innovation.
Totally. And one video even said that AI will actually make those human skills even more valuable, which is interesting.
Right, because AI can handle all those repetitive tasks. It frees us up to focus on what machines can't do, like solving those really complex problems, being creative, connecting with each other. It's like AI is giving us a superpower.
Right. I like that. It's like AI is amplifying our human capabilities.
Yeah, so it's not humans versus AI, it's more like we're on the same team.
Exactly. And Agile gives us the framework to make that teamwork really work.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways for our listeners? What should they remember about Agile and AI?
Okay, so first thing, ditch the idea that Agile is just a bunch of rigid rules.
Like a recipe you have to follow exactly.
Right. It's about understanding the core principles and adapting them to your own situation.
Agile's more like a mindset, a way of working that embraces flexibility, collaboration, and constantly learning.
Yeah, it's about empowering your teams, communicating openly, and adapting to change fast.
Be nimble, be responsive, be a learner.
Exactly. The second thing to remember is that AI, it speeds up change. It's going to disrupt things, create new opportunities, and force us to adapt faster than ever.
So we got to be ready for that. See it as a good thing.
Exactly. And Agile gives us a way to handle that constant change. Remember that compass and map analogy?
Oh yeah, love that. So what's the third takeaway?
This one's the most important. Remember that people are at the heart of it all. AI is amazing, but it can't replace human ingenuity, creativity, or that human connection.
Those are the skills that are going to matter even more in this AI-powered world.
Exactly. So build those skills up, build strong teams, make sure there's trust and that psychological safety we talked about.
Yeah, because the people who embrace that agile mindset, the ones who are willing to experiment, learn, and adapt, they're going to be the ones who succeed.
Definitely. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. It feels like we've just scratched the surface.
I know, right? But hopefully it's given everyone some new ideas about Agile and AI.
And remember, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Check out those videos you mentioned. There are links in the description.
Those videos are packed with insights and practical tips.
So dive in and let us know what you think. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Agile in the age of AI. Keep learning, keep adapting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We'll see you next time.